What's going on, guys? It seems like it's been forever since I uploaded on the channel, and I think it's been a couple months, and this is why. We've been working on this new garage, me and some family members. It took us a good month and a half to 2 months of weekends and little spare moments we had to put this together, so I'm going to run you through what it was before, because it started out as a carport, and run you through how we did it and what materials we used, and throw in some pictures here and there of some before and after and along the way shots, so stick around. Alright guys, so what we have here is a carport that was converted into a garage, and the way it sets on the property is I installed the main garage door here. This is a 9-foot by 7-foot Wayne Dalton door from Lowe's, and a 8 by 7 in the back, and I wanted like a pass-through into my backyard, basically is what that was for. But the construction of the garage is tin. On the outside, and the sidewalls on this side and this side just consists of tin, and we had to frame up the walls that are housing the garage doors, and those were just 2x4 wall frame that we did, and there's some 2x6 sandwiches above the doors for extra support and for extra nailers for the hardware for the garage doors on the top. And I'll put some pictures of the framework here. The wooden 2x4 frame also has a seal that runs across the bottom on both sides of the door, and those are anchored to the concrete with some anchor bolts, for lack of better terminology. They're the kind that you drill through the masonry, through the concrete, and you hammer them in, and then it's got this flange that opens up and it anchors it in there, and then all you have to do is put a nut on the top and it joins the bottom seal to the concrete very tightly. And of course we've went around with sealant around the entire perimeter of the garage against the concrete as well. So yeah, there and on both sides of the front garage door, here and here, it's all anchored in. Now for the insulation, we used bubble wrap, basically is what most people call it. It is white on one side and silver kind of aluminum on the other. It's like foil on the back. And I've watched a lot of YouTubers that used it on their projects and buildings, like Boss of the Swamp and some others, and they kind of sang it praises for working really well, and it does. I can turn on this little 8,000 BTU AC in here on a 85-degree day. So far it hasn't been above around 85 around here, but I can turn that on, and it's cool in here within just a couple minutes, and it will like freeze you out. You have to turn it off. So, and also it even when I walk in here on a hotter day, it is cooler in here than it is outside, because the reflective back of this insulation reflects a lot of the heat back. Now there's a 2-inch air gap between the insulation and the outer tin, and that's what gives a lot of the insulation as well. So if there's any questions about the framing, the insulation, anything that you see in this video, I'll be happy to answer in the comments. We joined the insulation with these roofing screws because I had a lot of them. It's basically a hex head with a washer, and the self-tapping ones will tap into the metal beams of the building, of the carport, as well as you can use them on screwing into wood, so it worked really well for us there. So all of the insulation panels are mounted with those screws, and that's what supports them. But the seams are sealed with white duct tape, and it matched well enough. I was happy with the final look. I wanted it to be white in here anyways, so it would reflect the light, and it would be less of an effort to light this place. And as for the lighting, we have 4 of these 1 foot by 4 foot LED panels. These 2 are Lowe's branded, and they're a little bit softer. And these 2 are Chinese made Amazon specials that were 50 bucks a pop, and they're a little bit brighter. I mean, for the moment, we'll see how long they last, but they are a little bit brighter than the more expensive ones from Lowe's. These are dimmable. I don't have them hooked up to a dimmer. I have them on full power. I flip the switch over here, and they all come on all at once. And for the wiring, we went with the 12-2 MC metal clad for safety, and we've got it routed and mounted with the fasteners there on the walls. So basically where the wiring starts is it comes out of my house of a 30 amp breaker. This is a heavy duty safety switch, as you can see there on the front. Basically if something is happening that's gone askew, or something needs shut off now and I can't do it in another manner, this is an emergency kill all power solution. If I flip that switch, all the power in the garage disappears. So it's good to have safety measures, so that's just one of them in here. And it goes into this box here, and from there it is split into 2 workloads, one on this side of the garage to power the air conditioner and the receptacles on that side, and also the motion detection light on the outside of the garage there. You can see that wire just kind of disappears. And then the other side powers this side of the garage. This is a charging station. I made this out of an old headboard of a bed, and these are 3D printed brackets for my Makita batteries. They hold it in and they just kind of snap in there. And this way all of my charging is done on just a simple little system here. It's easy to keep up with. And there's the light switch and receptacle on that side as well, and then there's one here. That basically is for anything I do on this work surface. So right now it's fairly empty in here. I've got a few of my little signs and whatnot hanging up, but there's more to be done in here. I have to build some shelving. There's definitely some things I'll be adding, so this is just kind of the bare bones, what I'm starting with here. These tools on the desks, been bouncing around this place for 8-9 years in my shed and in my outbuildings and stuff, so they're not in the best shape, but they're all working. So here's my forge and my anvil and my honing wheel, some propane tanks for the forge. I'm resurfacing the anvil soon, so a lot of blacksmithing, forging videos coming up real soon. And here's the stove that I have to pipe through the wall there that will be heating this place in the winter time. It's a warm morning model stove from the 40s, and it just basically, I'll show you real quick. It's a coal stove, and you can use wood in it as well. And it has the ash box in the bottom that you can pull out and clean. The dampers you can adjust. But yeah, that is basically the interior of the garage for now. This has been kind of a dream of mine for a while, to build this thing and have a space to do projects for the channel, and that's kind of where the channel direction has led. But most of my most successful videos have been restoration videos, forging videos, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to do more of, because I love doing that stuff. And anyways guys, any questions about shelving or tooling or anything about the garage build that you want to ask, just ask me in the comments and I'll be sure to get back with you on it. But a little bit of story about the foundation here on the garage. It's on a slant because this was on a concrete driveway. This was a carport, and because of the slant of the ground in here, things tend to look a little wonky on video, like the bottom of the door here and the way that the ceiling runs versus the way the signs and things in here are placed. But because the ground is tilted, the carport was also askew a little bit just by the original installation. So we had a lot of build around, kind of, you know, build it to size type stuff with this garage, but that's fine, and it ended up great. I love it in here, and I can't wait to do some projects. And I have put a seal that runs from side to side to the back door there, because the concrete pad does go out a little farther than the border of the garage, as you can see. So I put the seal there so the rain gets blocked and it doesn't just run right in here down my floor. The front one doesn't really need it because it's, you know, when it rains it runs downhill anyway, so there's really no splash in from that side. But yeah, it's like a multi-paneled concrete driveway, and we just converted the carport into this garage here, and didn't talk about the windows here. These are like mobile home replaceable aluminum frame windows, kind of like the old school bus style, where you just kind of pinch them and lift them and they go into different notches for different heights of window. And this is an all steel door we put in here for easier access out the side. That kind of hooks into my front walkway to my home. So I guess I could talk about this sign and this sign over here real quick. This one is very near and dear to my heart because my grandpa, my papa, Charlie Lucas, he had a Lucas barber shop in a nearby town, and he was just one of the best men I've ever met, a big inspiration in my life. And I spent a lot of time as a kid going to this barber shop with him and sitting in there with him and listening to him talk to his customers, and we would have our lunches together, and it was just a lot of good memories with my papa. So I found this on the property and it was buried. I had to dig it up and it was in pieces, and I pieced it back together on a plank of plywood. I had to repaint. Some of the lettering was chipping, But that's the story on that one. And this one was found with it, and he sold RC cola out of the front of his store in a vending machine. He also had this in front of his barber shop, and it's the same story on the chipping and stuff, except I couldn't find all the little pieces missing. But it looks rustic, it's old. I love the American colors there, so I wanted to hang it in here because it's a piece of history. Now these here come from a plant that I worked at in the past, and they were kind of shutting it down and giving away some of their signage and stuff if anybody wanted it for, you know, things like this. So I took that one there above the cork board, and this one over here that I put with my power armor wood burning I did back in high school. Follow all decontamination procedures before entering. I thought it was fitting. But anyways, let me see here. This is a clock that me and my dad made when I was younger, and he fashioned the materials and the hammer and the screwdriver, and he put the numbers on and put the clock mechanism in, and I airbrushed the part that says Lucas. And upon completion of this garage, he brings it down from his own workshop and kind of passes it on to this one, so that meant a lot to me, so I hung it up there. And this was a find in an old building on the property, and once again I love the American colors on there, and I love cars, so I went ahead and stuck it up there. Looks cool. Had a timestamp of 1976 on the back. Was pretty neat. So I plan on putting my drawings, my plans for future projects on the cork board here. Just kind of a blueprint kind of thing going on up there. And these tables here, let's talk about the tables and desks a little bit. Were Amazon specials, and they have angle kind of a square tubing frame and hardwood tops, and the tops are little kind of like butcher block. It's strips of this wood that is put together and glued, and it has a nice thick varnish on the top. And I got two of those and just butted them together for a really long work area here. And this one is, I wanted at least one of these style desks because we had one of these at my old shop that I worked at, and it's just awesome to be able to grab things you need really quick. The little dot board on the back is great for, oh yeah, I need this hammer, I need this pair of pliers. And then, you know, I can put stuff across the top here as well that I need regularly, so I know where it's at. This puzzle foam was from the plant I used to work at as well. And my dad had it, and he gave it to me because he has like wooden floors in his shop. So, you know, standing on concrete is not great for long periods of time. So I put a strip of it here in front of, you know, where I'll be standing a lot in front of these various tabletop machines. So that worked out pretty nice through there. If you guys want, I'll talk more about the tooling and specific tools and things I have in another video when I talk like in detail about, you know, what certain areas will be used for, what I'm going to do with certain places and corners and crannies in the garage. But basically, guys, this was just a real quick tour of the new garage as it stands. I'm sure that I'll probably be doing another video of like my detailed setups and like little areas like my PPE. You know, what I plan on using my desks for, you know, what that thing is, you know, anything else that's coming in the future. If you guys want to shoot me any ideas of what you'd like to see on here, feel free to do so. But definitely a lot of projects coming soon. And I appreciate you guys checking it out. I'll be sure to slide in a lot of the pictures of the process of building this into this video for you to check out. But anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.